Hello, and welcome to Viva La Action, the podcast where we're talking about all things action movies, the good, the bad, and the underrated. My name is Santi, and with me as always is my co-host, it's Grayson.
Hello.
Hello. How's it going?
How's it going?
I think I screwed up the intro because we've like hit a record of like in-person recordings. We did like I don't know, like 6 in a row.
I know.
And so like this time I was like I forgot how to do this remotely.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's okay. We're gonna figure it out.
We got it.
We got it. There's nothing to worry about.
Nope.
How are you, my friend?
I'm doing all right. A little sleepy, but pushing through.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. Have you ever told the listeners that you have sleepy bitch disease?
No. It is terminal though.
Yeah. We. So everybody say bye, Grayson.
Bye.
Yeah. But Grayson, you know what's not terminal?
What?
It's this podcast, and what do we do on this podcast?
We watch action movies and we talk about them.
We sure do. And this week is no different because this week we watched Bullitt.
Bullitt.
That's the French title.
Yeah.
Bullitt.
Yeah.
Which, if you don't know, Bullitt is a 1968 action thriller film directed by Peter Yates, based on the 1963 book Mute Witness by Robert L. Fisher. The film stars one Steve McQueen as the titular Frank Bullitt, with support by Robert Vaughn, Jacqueline Bisset, Don Gordon, and Robert Duvall. Bullitt carries a 98% critical score on Rotten Tomatoes with an 85% audience score.
Oh.
Pretty close.
Yeah.
The film does not pass the Bechdel test.
No.
There's one. I think there's one named character who is a woman.
Yeah.
And then there's a second woman who shows up later, but she only speaks to a man. She doesn't speak to another woman.
Yeah.
Does not pass the Bechdel test. On a budget of $4 million, which
Wow.
by today's standards, that would be about $37 million. Bullitt made around $42.3 million, which again in today's dollars, that's about $283 million, give or take.
God damn, they cleaned up.
They cleaned up. And finally, the plot synopsis from IMDb. A nonconformist San Francisco cop is determined to find the underworld kingpin who killed the witness under his protection.
Bam, bam, bam.
Bam, bam, bam. Yeah, that's about as simple as you can make this plot, which is incredibly confusing.
Yes, I know.
Before we get into that, Grayson, what'd you think of this movie?
I liked it.
It's good.
It was a good time.
It is a good time.
Like you said earlier, this is off camera. It's very 60s.
Yes.
Very, very 60s. But like everything about it is very good.
Yeah. Now you told me, I think it was on the preview, you've never seen a Steve McQueen film before, is that right?
Correct. No relation to Lightning, by the way.
No relation to Lightning. There's also there's also another guy in Hollywood named Steve McQueen, and I always get confused because he's a director.
No.
And he directed the movie 12 Years a Slave. And a couple other movies. And for the longest time, I was like, I thought Steve McQueen died. I didn't know he was directing movies. And then one time I looked up this Steve McQueen, and I was like, oh, that's a black guy. That's not. That is not Steve McQueen at all.
No.
Not sure why they're allowed to just have the same name, but that's fine.
Yeah, whatever.
I guess because other Steve McQueen is dead. That's probably why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
copyright on it expired.
Yeah. Well,
It
because
became public domain.
right, because you know how like the Actors Guild has like a rule that like you can't have two people with the same name, right? Like,
Yes.
so that's why you have like Michael B. Jordan, right? Because he's Michael Jordan otherwise, and he's like, well,
Oh, right, right.
I'm not the Michael Jordan, so I'm Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah,
Um, anyway, I just thought I'm like, why can't he be Stephen A. McQueen? You know, like why's he also got to be Stephen McQueen or Steve
yeah,
McQueen, whatever.
yeah,
Um, anyway,
yeah.
what'd you think?
I've never seen a Steve McQueen movie. He was pretty good
Yeah,
for a white dude in the '60s. Yeah, he was pretty good.
yeah, yeah. He's great.
Um, yeah, he. I will say, I was surprised by this. He is quite pleasant to look at.
Yes, yeah. He has a nice face.
Yes, good actor, nice face.
He's a very good actor, and he's one of those people that I hate where everything you read about him is just that he was cool and he was a nice person and he was like nice to everyone around him. And I'm like, I
Yeah,
hate that. I feel like if you're a talented actor, you should also be a dickhead because then I can hate you fairly. Like,
yeah,
it's not fair that you're like, I'm just like the coolest guy to ever be on the big screen. And also I gave a bunch of money to orphans and like whatever.
yeah.
And I
He's
drove race cars.
he seems like the kind of guy that just is like he would like tell dad jokes just for the hell of it.
Yeah,
Even if he didn't have
absolutely.
kids, he
Yeah.
would tell dad jokes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He just seems cool. Like he's got that
Yeah.
air about him. Like one of the things, and we'll kind of get more into this as the movie goes on. As the episode goes on. Um, I like that his character like is very low key, but also you
Yes.
can tell that like he kind of gives like respect to like anybody who gives respect to him, right?
Yes.
Like I think something that's significant about this movie, and it struck me the first time I watched it, and then this time it also like struck me. There's a character in this who appears, and he's pretty prominent, and it's an African American actor, right?
Yes.
And there's pretty much like Steve McQueen's character most of all doesn't make anything of it. Like he's like,
Yeah.
doesn't matter to him at all. But I found it quite sort of progressive in the way that like there's no like straight out like narrative about the fact that that character is
Yeah.
African American, right? Like I like that Bullitt just is like, yes, this is a doctor and he's black and I don't care. Like
And
it's
I
just
don't give
like,
a shit. I'm just trying to
yeah,
find the murderer.
right, yeah. Which like for 1968 is very
Yeah.
surprising. Yeah.
Yes.
But
Yeah,
I don't know.
it's right up there with like, you know, the original Star Trek series having, Uhura on the bridge,
Yeah,
right? And a Russian at the helm
right.
alongside a Japanese American man. Like the world was full of aliens, so it's like, why do I care?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And so, yeah, same with this. It was like I'm too busy trying to catch bad guys for racism.
And I like that he just does not give a flying shit about like the like senator or whoever that guy is who's
Oh
like
my god,
trying
that
to
was
order
so
him around.
funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Every time that senator dude or whatever was like, "I need you to do this," he was just like, I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm good."
I'm not gonna do that actually.
Yeah,
Um
yeah. So got that down.
yeah. Yeah. So let me ask you this question. Did you more or less follow the plot?
Kind of.
Okay.
I kind of I probably lost it about halfway and then kind of picked it back up at the end. I was following along pretty well, but then it just kind of got
Yeah.
confusing.
I will say to the reason I asked that question is because the first time I watched it, I had no fucking clue what was going on. No idea. I was just
Yeah.
like, I know he's looking for something. Like I don't know what
Yes.
happened, but
Yes, he's looking for a person,
yeah,
but that's about all I got.
right. So I guess we'll go ahead and just from here we're gonna spoil the movie because I kind of
Yeah.
want to like explain the plot and see if you like also understood it the way that I did.
Okay.
So before we get there, would you recommend somebody watch this movie?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'd recommend like a dad watch this.
Yes, I was gonna say.
This is like the perfect movie to like put on, sit in your big ass recliner, and then just knock the fuck out.
Yes, absolutely. You could fall asleep to this movie.
Yeah. Which
It's
is
the
a
perfect kind of
compliment.
movie. Yes, yeah, absolutely. This is one of those movies, and I was actually gonna say this earlier and I forgot. This is a movie where I bet anybody out there find your dad, grab him, grab your dad, make sure he knows you're there. Don't just grab him surprised, but like,
Yeah.
grab your dad and ask him, "Have you seen the movie Bullitt?" And he'll be like, "With Steve McQueen, yes, I have." Like 100%.
Yeah.
This is like in the dad like handbook. Like if you haven't seen
Yeah.
this movie, you're not a dad.
They had page 1.
Yeah, yeah,
Page 1, step 1, watch Bullitt with Steve
yeah.
McQueen.
Step 2, page 2, go on YouTube and comment on the trailer for it that they don't make movies like this anymore. There you go.
Yep.
And now you're ready. You're ready to be an
And
old
now
dad.
you're set to be a dad.
Yeah. So here's the plot as I understand it. Okay.
Okay.
So there's this guy, and his name's
Yeah.
Johnny Ross, right?
Yeah.
Johnny Ross, and he used to work for something called the Organization, which
Right.
is more or less the mob, right? So he worked
Correct.
in Chicago for the mob.
Yes.
Then he is discovered having siphoned off a bunch of money from the mob, right?
Yes.
So he seeks witness protection in San Francisco with that
Yes.
senator guy, right?
Yes.
So he flies to San Francisco to get witness protection. However, before he like meets up with the senator, he hires a guy to be his lookalike,
Right.
right? And
Yes.
that guy is the one that's submitted into witness protection.
Yes.
So then when the like gunmen or whoever show up to kill him,
Yes.
they shoot the lookalike.
Yes.
The original Johnny Ross then goes and murders that guy's wife and takes, because he
Yes.
had paid them off with the money he stole from the mob.
Yes.
So he like goes and steals their passports
Yes.
and buys a ticket to Rome to leave the country.
Yes.
But Bullitt figures out all of that.
Yes. Somehow.
Somehow gets to the airport, realizes that he changed his flight at the last minute
To London.
to London. He comes back, and then Bullitt shoots him in the back.
Yeah.
Or
No,
the
he
front.
shoots him in the front.
He does shoot him in the front. Yes.
Because he's not a coward.
Yeah. So that's the plot as I understood it.
That, I think, makes sense. But his name wasn't actually Johnny Ross, right? It was that other name? Or
No,
was that his alias name?
No, I think his name is Johnny Ross. I think the guy who was killed in the beginning.
Oh, was the other right?
Yeah,
Okay,
Albert,
yes,
whatever
yes.
his name was, Albert
Yes.
something.
Yes.
And he's the one who is murdered and whatever, but he wasn't the actual witness.
Johnny Ross.
Yes.
Correct. Right. Yes.
And let me tell you, the first time I watched this, I had no idea what was happening. Like when the second Johnny Ross showed up, I'm like, who's that guy?
Where'd you come from?
Where'd you come from?
Yes. Yeah, I was kind of in the same boat. Like I said, I was following along pretty good. And then about halfway, I kind of lost it. But then I sort of picked it back up. Because it was right around when it was right after the car chase. And we'll talk about that car chase.
Yes.
It was when Bullitt was talking to the captain, I believe, and he said, he was like, the person I was chasing was the person that killed Ross because he had that pump Winchester.
Yeah, right.
And I was like, okay, so that guy killed Ross, and then it was in the morgue, or was it the morgue? it was the morgue or something. They had figured out, they were like, wait a minute, this guy isn't, his name isn't actually Ross, because they
Right.
found it was either like via his like fingerprints or like luggage or something. They were
Right.
like, wait, no, this dude isn't actually Ross. This was just a different guy. So they're like, there's a different guy actually named Ross.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where I picked it back up. Was kind of like right after the
Right.
car chase.
Yeah, because basically what happens is, so the witness gets like shot or whatever. He goes to the hospital. He dies there, and then Bullitt, like, um, whisks his body away in the middle of the night.
Yes.
But while they're doing an autopsy or whatever, Bullitt figures out, or no, sorry, no, in talking to, because remember they talked to the clerk at the hotel or whatever,
Right.
and he mentions that they had gotten into a cab, or he had gotten out of a cab when they first saw him, and the cab
Yes.
driver tells him that he made 2 calls, and one was an
Yes.
international call and one was whatever.
Yes.
So they trace the call and figure out that one was to this woman who was
Yes.
staying in a hotel. And then once they get there, they figure out her identity and they figure out like his identity or whatever. And that's where it takes off from there.
There you go.
There we go. We figured it out.
We got it. We did it.
I don't know how he figured it out, but we did it.
I know. God damn. It's almost like he had a script or something.
I know. Shit. What? One thing I do like about this movie, and it's something that they talked a lot about, like, because I watched, there's this kind of short, I think it's like 10 minutes long, like sort of making of that was like
Oh,
made
yeah,
at the time of the movie, which by the way, 1960s making ofs are incredible. They're so much
Oh,
fun.
yeah.
It's just like a guy with a camera and he's just following everybody around, right? And then it's just people smoking. Like that's the whole it's just people like
Chain smoking like a
just
motherfucker.
chain smoking. Like Steve McQueen's like explaining something and he's just got like 2 cigarettes, it's just it's fantastic.
Nice.
But one thing they emphasized in that was that they really wanted to like have an emphasis of like realism, right? Like
Yeah.
they didn't want it to feel like a regular Hollywood movie, which is all sets and whatever. So
Yeah.
they emphasize like shooting on location, like it's all kind of real streets and real buildings and whatever.
Yeah.
But one thing that they really wanted to hit home was the like procedural nature of police work in the 60s,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And what I really like is the scene where they're going through the luggage. Like,
Yes.
even though like that is the kind of scene you would not shoot anymore because it's like it's kind of boring, but I find it
Yeah.
really interesting where it's like, they open it up and they're looking through all the things and they're like, look, he got this, like, and they're kind of letting you piece it together, like at the same
Yes.
time that they are, like they're talking
Yeah.
through it and they're like putting things in bags and whatever. One thing I did find funny though, I was like, oh man, this is police work in the 60s. They're like, here, put this, do it for fingerprints. And I'm like, you just got your fingerprints all over that motherfucker.
Yeah. Like, where are your gloves?
Right.
My brother in Christ. You're going to fingerprint it and be like, hey, your fingerprints are on this. Did you do it?
Yeah. They'll be like,
Like-
we can't pull an actual fingerprint off of this because you got your
Yeah.
dirty little mitts all over it. But I like that scene because it does
Oh, yeah.
kind of show you like the process of them like figuring things out.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the thing that I think everybody wants us to talk about, which is the car chase.
Yes.
So what was your kind of just general feeling about the car chase?
It was really well done.
Yeah.
I think there were some moments where I was like, I think they could have put like a little bit of a musical backing to this. Because just kind of sitting there listening to just nothing really kind of made it a little bit anticlimactic, but I mean, it was still really good. I mean, hell of a chase, especially through the hills of San Francisco. Like, god
Yeah.
damn.
Mhm.
And I mean, it ends in a glorious fireball. So
Yes, it does. Yes. Yeah, I think that the thing I love the most about it, and I talked about it a long time ago. I can't remember what movie we were talking about, but it's probably one of my favorite car chases in film because the cars feel so heavy, right?
yes,
And like obviously they were, because this is, we're talking 1960s Mustangs and Chargers, right? Which,
Yep.
probably weighed, many, many tons of
Just pure
steel
metal.
and yeah, pure metal, right?
Yeah.
But I love that, like, when you see them and they're going down the hills and like they're, you'll see one like do a little jump because it's like, got this little, and it hits
Yep.
the ground and you see the, like, um what do you call it, the suspension just goes all the way down
Yep.
and the car
Yep.
sparks are flying off the ground. Like, it's fucking incredible. I
It's
love.
so good. And there's like hubcaps flying off.
Yes, yeah,
They're drifting like it's nothing. Yeah.
yeah,
The fact that they're able to drift those things, holy fuck.
I know.
That was
And
impressive.
I was reading in the behind the scenes that, like, at times, they had the cars going like 110 miles an hour or something
Oh my
crazy. Yeah.
god.
And so, because what they did was, so they had a mix of, like, obviously, like when you're watching it, there's a mix of like close-up shots from like
Yeah.
the interior, which is kind of one of the um like innovative things this movie does, right? Where there's shots from inside the car which are facing out, right? So you can see that it's like Steve McQueen actually driving. But then they
Yes.
had exterior shots that they, with the more like dangerous stunts that were done with stunt drivers. And
Yes.
so you can tell that there's like somebody in the car. And I like that you can tell it's not sped up and that the drivers
Yeah.
are just going fucking nuts. But they had like, I think it was something like 6 different stunt drivers to do like different things, right?
Wow.
So they kind of like, they're like, all right, well, this is Johnny John boy, and he can, he's our drifting guy, and this is like Greg the spoon, and he can do whatever. Like, I just made that
Greg
up,
the Spoon.
but he's our
Yeah.
jumping car guy,
Jumping car guy. And this guy, this is Tony.
This
He
is Tony.
specializes in blowing shit up.
I'm Tony. I got 2 sticks of dynamite.
Yep.
I got a lit one in my ass right now. Oh, Tony.
Ah, you silly
You
bastard.
silly bastard.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yes. I like that, and man, it looks so dangerous. Like
It really does.
like there's a shot, and I swear to God, I'm like, if I was the actor involved here, I would be so worried that I was just gonna get squished to death. There's a shot
Yeah.
where Steve McQueen, or the 2 mobster hitmen, right? They're like clearing a corner, and there's a guy on a motorcycle,
Oh
and
god, yeah.
he like skids and like,
Yep.
gets out of it, right? And he like lets the motorcycle go. But as he's like sliding, Steve McQueen is coming the other way and has to like
Yep.
drift around him. And I'm like,
Yep.
it's incredible that stunt man didn't go like, like,
Yeah. Because I would have.
yeah, I think I would have shit and pissed my pants and would have been curled up
Yep.
in a ball on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, stuntmen in the 60s were built different.
They 100%. Yeah, I was really, when I saw the motorcycle, I was like, oh no. Don't. Ah, jeez.
Yeah.
And like even before, like when he like jumps off of his bike, like he wasn't really wearing any like protective gear.
No, he's just wearing like a leather jacket.
Yeah. And he like skid on his knees and then like
Yeah.
rolled, and I was like, brother.
I mean, I would assume he's got some padding on underneath, right? He's probably got some knee
Probably.
pads and stuff, but yeah, that's insane.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
know that movie making is different now because, like, aside from Tom Cruise, if like Keanu Reeves was like, I want to drive a Mustang 100 miles an hour down a steep San Francisco street, they'd be like, no, you're not
Yeah,
allowed.
we're not doing that. Here's a green screen.
Yeah, get in, But man, yeah, the fucking 60s, it's insane.
Yeah.
Like, because there's another scene. I don't know why I'm just skipping to all the good parts, but
Nah, you're good.
there's another scene at the end of the movie where he's on the tarmac and he like
Yep.
he goes and like has to lay down and a plane goes over him.
Over him? Yeah.
And I'm like, there's no like They just ran over Steve McQueen with a plane, and like, because there's no
Yeah.
CGI, and you have to see his face. Like, it's not a stunt
Yep.
man.
Yeah.
I'm
They
like, the
just did
60s are
that.
crazy. Yeah, they just were like,
Yeah.
all right, Steve, go ahead.
And action.
And
And Steve
action.
McQueen's like, are we sure about this?
I don't think I want this job anymore.
Yeah.
What I do like
Um,
too, when you see the full shot, right? Because he runs onto the tarmac and the plane's
yep.
coming and he gets on the ground, the plane goes over him.
Yep.
When he's running away, he's doing a little bit of a I just shit my pants run, right? He's kind of like doing this when he's running. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that is the run of a man who thought he was just about to die. 100%.
Yeah. Yep. I bet you the director or somebody, when asked about like, is it gonna be safe, you're like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be
100%.
fine.
Yeah.
100%. We got this all planned out. He's gonna go in. He's just gonna lie down, but like after the front wheels pass him, so he's just between the two, outer wheels. He'll be fine. Meanwhile, there's lawyers like on the sideline, like
Yeah.
biting their nails.
I was gonna say, I imagine everyone watching it, like off to the side, was like this, like,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly when like he gets up and like starts running again. Like,
yeah.
oh, thank God.
Oh, thank God.
kill
Okay,
Steve
we're good.
McQueen.
Yeah, yeah. The airline pilot's just like, oh, that was a bump.
Oh, all right, whatever. Anyway,
Whatever.
oh God.
Yeah. So you mentioned earlier the like the lack of a score during the car chase, right?
Yes.
So that was something that again was kind of emphasized in the making of the movie, is that like they went out of their way for a lot of scenes to like not have a musical score, because they wanted it to be that very like immersive experience, right? So
Yeah.
one thing I did notice watching it this time was that they're very selective about like when there's actually music playing, which is kind of a
Yes.
shame because the score is actually really quite nice.
Oh, it's fantastic. I loved it. I
Yeah.
really liked the music that was in that restaurant.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh man, that flautist, she was fucking shredding.
Oh yeah, she was going nuts.
God damn. I'm also a
Oh,
little
go ahead.
bummed that there wasn't as much of a score because yeah, it was so well done. It was very just pleasant.
Yeah.
I thought you were smoking there for a second. I thought you just pulled out a cigarette and just lit up. And I was like, damn, somebody's gone off the fucking
No.
rails.
For all the viewers, I was popping a couple of Mike and Ike's. That's my vice of choice today.
Yeah.
I'm not punching darts over here. I'm not, It would be
No
funny
Black
if
and
just all
Milds
of
or
a sudden
nothing?
I'm just like, yeah,
Yeah.
got some Black and Milds back here.
Yeah. Some fucking menthols or some
Yeah.
shit.
Santi, is that a pack of Marlboro Reds?
Why are you smoking that
It's
shit?
the everyman's cigarette. I'm like, I watched too many 60s films and now I'm just like, just
you
I
got
got
you,
an
you got
ashtray right
secondhand
here.
smoke from just watching the movie.
Did you like the part where when they're in the airport and over the terminal, or like over the speaker, they're like, "No smoking beyond this point." I'm like, but I can't believe you used to be able to smoke in an airport at all.
I know. Well, and yeah, and there was that, and then just the fact that there was no security. Like you literally just like walked up, bought a
Yeah.
ticket, and then went to your gate.
Yeah. And that guy had a gun on the plane.
Yeah.
It just was, he just had that thing on him.
Yeah. He was just strapped.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I know.
You can't even bring liquid on a plane now, let alone a fucking 22 Magnum.
I know. God damn.
God.
Oh, how the times have changed.
What happened to this country?
Literally.
You used to be able to smoke at an airport and bring a gun on a plane.
I know.
God damn it. You used to be able to just harass a doctor,
Yeah.
I do like, so one thing is that this movie is pretty serious, right? Like it's not very like, there's not a lot of humor, right? It's very like down the line, like we're doing this shit, right? But there is one joke in it that I thought was pretty funny. It's like a visual gag where Steve McQueen's at the hospital, right? Because his partner just got shot and like the witness had gotten shot or whatever, so he's like there and he's talking to somebody or whatever, and then they go away. And then a nurse comes out with a tray of food and she's all, "Excuse me, sir, were you the hungry cop who was waiting?" And he's like, "Yes, I am." And he takes the tray of food and he like walks away and the camera pans over and there's another cop just standing there and he's got this look on his face like, "What the fuck?"
That was my food. I was hungry.
I was like, that's
Damn.
good. That's a very good joke.
That was well done.
And it's even funnier because there's like no other jokes in the whole movie. It's like the only one.
Yeah.
But
they were like, we get one funny moment and this is it. So we're going to sell it.
I also like that. I feel like there's a trend on this show of like protagonists who are always just down to have a meal, you know?
Oh yeah.
I feel like Bullitt is like always eating. Like there's that when he's in the hospital, he's got like a sandwich and a big old glass of milk and he's just like, you know, chowing down.
He's like Yip Man in all the Yip Man movies.
Yes, yeah.
He's just always eating.
Yeah, just constantly. He's just going nuts.
Yeah.
What'd you think of his turtleneck?
I liked it.
Yeah.
I think nowadays it's hard to pull off a turtleneck. But man, back then you could rock one of them bitches.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. You got to be real good looking or real cool to pull off that look, right? Cuz he's got like the blue turtleneck with the neck like pulled down. So it's like half the turtleneck tucked in, right? He's got like brown trousers. And then he's wearing like a brown jacket with the gun holster underneath.
Yep.
And I'm like, you got to be real good looking, or that would make you look like a uber dork. That fucking outfit, like,
no, I don't think very many people could have pulled that off. And man, did he pull that off?
Oh, he pulls it off. He looks good as hell.
Yeah.
God. So one thing. So, a fun little fact for you. So, his style in the movie is actually based on a real life detective. So Steve McQueen had worked with this other detective named Dave Toschi, who I couldn't find like what he'd worked with him on, but I guess he'd been like an advisor on another movie he was on or whatever. So he copied his style, so like the turtleneck, the jacket, and the holster he's wearing is actually something that detective had like made part of his signature style. Because it's what's called a quick draw holster. So he actually has the gun in upside down. And I think it's because he can grab it like this, right? So he can just grab it and like, you know, like, so the gun is actually in upside down. And that wasn't like standard issue. That was like something this specific detective had done. But what's really fun about Dave Toschi, there's two things, okay?
Yeah.
One, after this movie came out, he actually went on to be one of the lead investigators of the Zodiac. So he was actually one of the real life detectives that like investigated the Zodiac killer, which is just like, that's incredible on its own. The second thing is that he actually gets a reference in Star Wars.
What? Oh,
Toschi Station. Yes. That's named after Dave Toschi. Yeah.
Yep. Wow. That's really cool. When you said his name, I was like, why does that sound familiar? And then you said Star Wars reference. I was like, oh.
Yep.
That's very cool.
This guy just casually gets to be like the coolest human being to have ever lived, right? Like he gets Steve McQueen gets to play him in a movie. He hunted the Zodiac killer, and Star Wars has a thing named after him. That's crazy.
I honestly, at that point, you just like retire and you show up to like a little coffee shop and you just like casually drop all of that and then they just give you stuff for free.
Yeah, you just eat there for free for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought that was fun. I was like, those are some good fun facts.
Yeah. God damn. Very cool.
Another fun fact for you. Well, it's not really a fun fact, but People who fill out the goofs section on IMDb would
Oh,
love this. So, going back to the car chase, if you really pay attention, you can kind of see the sequence in which they shot things, right? Because there's damage on the cars like
yes.
earlier in this chase, and then there's like shots later where there's no damage, and then there's like it like changes throughout the car chase.
Yep.
Which again, this is pre CGI, so they just were like,
We gotta.
we just got to do what we got to do. And you brought it up earlier. There's the shot where like they go around the corner, right, and they're going at such high speed that one of the hubcaps pops off.
Yep.
That was not planned, so that was actually like an accident.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
Ugh.
but they left it
Whoopsie.
in because they're like, that's perfect. Like it fits the scene or whatever.
Yeah.
But if you're paying attention, you'll see later in the chase that car has a hubcap on it again. Like
Yes.
because they obviously didn't bother to whatever. So I just think that's fun.
Yes.
The
Man,
other
they
thing,
really went. Yeah, that's a legit accident. That's our bad, but
looks
it's
cool
authentic.
as hell. Yes, yeah. The other thing that I think is interesting is those cars were actually like modified specifically for the movie.
Oh.
So if you were to take a real Ford Mustang, like a 68 Mustang, and throw it off a cliff like that, I think it would just hit the ground and then it would,
Explode.
yeah. So they had to add like extra suspension to it because they were like, there is no way we're going to hit this thing going 100 miles an hour and it's going to keep driving.
Yeah.
Um,
It'll
and
go
then,
kaput.
right. And then the other thing I read was that I can't remember what the name of the car was, but the car that the mobsters are in, I don't think it's a Challenger, but regardless, or maybe a Charger. I don't remember. In real life, because they had also modified that one a lot, like they had kind of given it some like new parts and more suspension, whatever. It was like so souped up that it was actually outpacing the Mustang like significantly, and so they kept having to like let off the
Yeah.
the not the ignition,
The gas.
the gas. There you go. Because like they were just like flying away, and the Mustang couldn't keep up.
Wow.
Which I think is funny.
That's very funny. Yeah, because they did a really good job of making it seem like the Mustang was just keeping pace and like catching them, but
Yeah,
huh.
I do like how that scene plays out too, where
Yes.
you see them following him, right? Which, by the way, if you're a couple of mob hitmen, maybe don't follow the guy who's like investigating the murder you just committed.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that seems kind of stupid.
Just as a pro tip,
Yeah,
if you committed a murder, don't follow the guy that's trying to look for you.
right. That seems a little silly.
Yeah.
That being said, what I love about that is, right, like, and no words are spoken during this scene. I love you see him like notice, right?
Yeah.
He's like, those guys are following me. He gets in the car and he's like acting like he doesn't know that they're following him. And then he like takes a couple of turns and they're like, what the fuck? Where is he? And you see the one look in the rearview mirror, and then over the hill comes him, right? Because like now
Yep.
he's chasing them. I was like,
Yep.
fucking perfect.
Yeah, that was really well. I know. I was
Yes.
like, because he went up that hill, and they didn't know. They were like, man, left or right. So they went left, and I was like, I didn't know how the scene was gonna like happen.
Yeah.
I was like, how are they gonna find him? Well, they're not gonna find him. He's gonna find them.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is funny too, because it's like that's also the moment where the score cuts out, right? Because like before
Yes.
that, there's sort of like this like jazzy, like, oh, they're looking for him, like it's like do do
Yep.
do 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 do, and then like as soon as they notice him and they rev their engine, the score is gone, and then it's just like we're off.
Yeah.
And I love that. I just think that's such a great start to a car chase.
It was very good. Yeah. The hills in San Francisco are terrifying.
Oh, they're nuts. Yeah.
Like there were so many times they would like be going downhill,
Yeah.
and it makes sense that they had to like put extra like bullshit, because man, they were hitting, because like it would like go down and then level out and then down and then level out because they were like cross streets. And every time they would get to the level out part, it like just hit.
Oh yeah.
Man, yeah, that was. I couldn't imagine doing that. I can see why, because I was looking. I looked up kind of some stuff, and apparently this is like one of the most famous car chases ever.
Yeah.
I can see why.
Yeah. Well, it definitely innovated, like, because if you remember, we watched Dr. No, right, which was
Yes.
the James Bond film. And if you remember in that, there's a car chase in that lasts for like 4 seconds, right?
Yes.
Where it's just like it's a cut inside and you see like James Bond and he's got like the rear projection and he's just going like this.
Yes.
Right. And then it like cuts to the other guy and he's going like this. And then all of a sudden, like one goes around a corner and flies off a cliff or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, that's what car chases used to be. It was just like, you know, we don't know how to do this, so whatever. So this movie kind of revolutionized like car chases because it's like at times it's a little bit confusing, right? Because they hadn't quite figured editing out yet. But for the most part, the chase is very clear. Like there's a very clear, like, you know, whatever. And the thing that they changed was you feel the impact of it a lot more, right? Because you have the interior shots where you see Steve McQueen driving. You have the exteriors where you see the cars just smacking shit and they're like, whatever. But the other thing I really like is they use that the shot of like the car, like the putting the camera low to the ground, right?
Yes.
And you really feel the speed of the car, right? Because it's like when you're closer to the road and you can see the like the tires and all that shit.
Yeah.
It feels much more impactful than just locking down the camera and the car's over there and, you know, whatever. They were like, no, we're going to make you feel like, like every ounce of this like car chase. And it feels much more dangerous than a regular, even car chases of that time.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was very impressive. And then it ends in. Was that a gas station that they plowed into, or what was that?
I don't know. It looked like a tire shop or something, but
oh yeah,
I don't know why it
notoriously
explodes.
Explosive.
Yeah.
I thought it was cool though.
Yeah.
I didn't really care. I was like, woohoo!
I know, yeah. I was like, explosion.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny to call this an action movie too, because I feel like there's only 2 like actual action scenes.
Yeah.
Like there's this where, you know, the car chase, and then there's like the shot at the end where he shoots that guy in the face or whatever. And that's kind of it. Like, you know, just really the 2 scenes, but that's fine.
It is. I think, you know, it was probably still early in the American action film era, and so we're still trying to figure out how to do action.
Yeah.
Well, and even the whole chase through the airport, even though there wasn't like a lot of like hand to hand like punching and shit.
Yeah.
It's still very exciting.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I like that when Steve McQueen goes on the plane to get the guy, like the guy sees him, Ross sees him, and you can tell he's like debating almost. He's like, can I make it? Can I run? I'll have to jump out the back of the plane. But man, I really don't want to get caught by this guy.
Yeah.
And so and he like lets him get just a little too close, but he still goes for it, and jumping out of the plane, that was kind of crazy.
Yes. Yeah.
Do you know anything about that stunt in particular, or?
I don't know.
Okay. Because I was like, it didn't seem like they put crash mats or anything, it seemed like they jumped from the actual height, and so
I'm sure they did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the 60s. They were like, you don't need your knees, just jump.
Yeah,
you know?
just jump. That won't have any long-lasting effects.
No, you'll be fine.
Yeah,
nothing to worry about.
Yeah, that was kind of crazy. I also like how the senator dude was like useless that entire time.
Yeah, he was. He was completely useless.
Yeah, he was just like standing there watching. I'm like, brother, Do something.
Yeah.
Help.
And I do like that this movie has a very um because one thing I think is important is like this movie was being made right around the Vietnam War, right? So
Right.
trust in the government, especially among like more sort of liberal minded people, was very low, right? Like people were
Yeah.
not happy with Vietnam. They were not happy with Lyndon B. Johnson. Like this, we're sort of looking at like, you know, a lot of movies that were made like in the early 70s have this and late 60s have this sort of dour, like paranoid, cynical view of the world. And I like that this movie kind of feels very like mistrusting of this government official who is very obviously like just doing this for his own gain, right? Like he
Yeah.
doesn't care about this case, right? It's more
No.
about him bringing down this mob or whatever so that he can advance his own whatever. And
Yeah.
he's come up against this guy who very obviously does not care at all about like advancing,
Yeah.
like he's obviously had some success, he's whatever, but he's still like just a lieutenant because he obviously just cares about like solving cases and doing whatever.
Yeah.
And so I like that there is this constant back and forth. And I love the moment where they get the photocopy of the double's
Yeah.
driver's license, and it's like this like fucking like mic drop moment where he's all, you had us guarding the wrong guy. And you can tell he just wants to go, you know?
Yep. Yep. I know that was very satisfying.
Yeah.
Because yeah, the senator then just kind of like he was dumbfounded. He was like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
He's like, ah, fuck.
shit. Well, they got me."
Yeah. Which I love because it's the whole
Yeah.
time this guy's just being a dick, like walking around being like, everybody needs to listen to me, whatever. And in the
Yeah.
end, he's wrong. And I think that's
Yeah.
fantastic.
Oh, it's great. It's very true to how actual government officials are.
Yeah. Yeah. Strange. I don't know.
Hot-headed. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Who would know that we'd be having the same problems now that we did then?
Wow. It's like
Wow.
nothing ever fucking changes. Anyway.
Anyway, what the other thing that I do like too is this the movie does also have this theme of like, and it almost feels kind of meta where it's like talking about how people become numb to like violence and trauma, right?
Yeah.
Like cuz there's a scene where he gets his car commandeered, so he has to have his girlfriend drive him to go to the crime scene or
Yes.
whatever. And when he gets there, he discovers that the wife of the double has been murdered. And so like she sees all these other cops coming and she, thinks that something's happened to him. So she like goes running in and sees this murdered woman on the floor.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Oh fuck." So he like takes her out of there and she is like having a hard time with it. And she says something to him like, you know, "You've just become so numb to this, like whatever, how can you whatever?" And he's basically just like, "That's what it is. Like
Yeah.
that's my job." Like there's
Yeah. I have to be
yeah.
sort of numb to it,
Yeah.
you know.
But then I do like
Um,
too that like at the end of the movie, when after he shoots Johnny Ross, there is a little bit of like, and again, they do all of this without really saying anything. You can tell that it's like kind of affecting him a little bit, right? Because
oh
he's
yeah.
very somber and he like walks home and he looks at himself in the mirror, and you do get the sense that he's a little bit like, what is wrong with me? Like why
Yeah.
am I so numb to this violence? Like, because I feel like too the movie goes out of its way to like make the violence a little bit shocking, right? Like you do see the
Yeah.
body of that woman and she is like mangled, right? Like she's got the garrote on her throat and it's like
Yeah.
it's quite disturbing. And then it's like
Yeah.
it's almost like the movie's trying to make you also feel bad for being desensitized, right? It's
Yes.
like this is what violence like this is, it's not fun, it's not like whatever, it's like
Yeah.
it's quite grim. um
Yep.
so yeah, I don't know, I thought that was interesting.
Oh yeah, no, it was great. it brought him back down to just like reminding us that he is also human,
Yeah.
and that he can be affected by this stuff.
Right.
Um, so yeah, I did, and I did like the final sort of scene where we get the final shot of just like his holster,
Yeah.
and then it's just like hard cut to black.
Right.
It was very good.
Yeah. It is good. And if I have a lot of complaints all the time about everything, but um,
Yeah.
one thing that does make me a little bit sad is that like I feel like you don't get a lot of mainstream movies anymore that are contemplative, right? That are
Right.
like thoughtful and kind of force you to like think about the thing you're watching, like and forces you kind of
Yeah.
confront it. I feel like a lot of movies
Yeah.
now are like, here's our theme. Don't think too hard about it. See you later. And it's like
Bye.
where
Yeah.
bye, see you later. Come back for the next one. Whereas this movie's a lot of like this is horrible. Look at it. Now
Confront
think
it.
about it. Confront it. Here's 5 minutes
Got
of a guy being sad. It's like
him.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It allows you to like
Yeah.
sit in it and think about it, and you don't get a lot of chances to do that with media anymore.
No, you don't. And I think part of that comes, and I will always blame Marvel for this shit,
Yeah,
cuz like the last few Marvel movies, they just like hold your hand
yeah,
through the whole fucking thing. And I'm like, can we maybe like make actual art? Is that
yeah.
too hard to make
Yes,
like something that's actually good?
yes. It is. It
Piss
is
me
too
off.
hard.
Fuck you, Marvel. Fuck.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that's why I really like watching
Um,
these older movies like this and Indiana Jones, is because you can tell that somebody actually like cared. I think I saw a while back there was somebody was like either interviewing JJ Abrams or like JJ Abrams said something, but I guess he said that like he apparently he wishes that they had a plan for the Star Wars sequels.
right.
And apparently they just didn't have a plan. And he was like, "Yeah, it turns out when you have
Yeah.
a plan, you actually like make something good. I kind of wish we had a plan for those
Yeah.
movies." And I'm just like,
Yeah.
"You guys
Imagine
didn't have
that.
a plan? What
No,
were you doing?"
just making shit.
Yeah. I just
What do you
miss
mean they
good
didn't have a
art.
plan? You mean they didn't plan for the Emperor to come back the whole time?
I- you could have fooled me.
I mean, somehow Palpatine's returned. I don't know how, but somehow.
Yeah, that yeah, in the immortal words of uh Poe,
Yeah.
somehow Palpatine is back.
Somehow he's back. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
That is the
Well, we gotta
funniest line that I think I have ever heard uttered in a theater because it is like the writer going, I don't know. Okay. I don't
I
know. Somehow
yeah,
he's back. Let's fucking figure it
somehow
out
he's
later.
back. They're barely paying me, so
Yeah.
this is
They'll
what you
figure it
get.
out in Fortnite or whatever. I don't know.
Fortnite. Uh,
Anyway.
I miss good art.
Don't we all? And I want to be clear too. There is still good art being made. It's just that
Yes.
what I think people who like if you were born after the year like I don't know 2007, right? And you're listening to this, first of all, skibbity toilet. I don't know whatever you're into. All right, if anybody
Got
under the
him.
age of 20 was listening, they're now not listening. Um,
Yeah.
but what I was going to say is um, what you don't realize is that like thoughtful like artsy sort of movies used to be made by studios, right? Like
Yes.
they used to come out in the theater and everyone would go see them and like it wasn't just this thing that it is now where it's like, oh yeah, like, you know, that's kind of thing made by A24 or it's made by whatever and it's a limited release and you can only see it on video on demand. It was like movies like this were like in the theater and they made money,
Yeah.
right? Like romantic
Yes.
comedies used to be in the theater and they made money. It wasn't just like, oh, you went and saw the 3 or 4 blockbusters that came out this year and whatever. Like most
Yeah.
movies that came out were just regular like dramas or like weird things. Like there was like, it used to be you did it by volume. You just made a ton of movies every year and you made a ton of money because everybody saw all your movies. But
Yep.
it's very different now. So it's like, I'm not saying that there aren't good movies made anymore. Of course there are. It's just that what I have a gripe with is that the only movies now made by major studios are like watered down, like obvious products, and
Yeah.
it's exhausting, is what I'm saying.
Yes. Yes. It is very exhausting. They just don't make them like they used to.
They don't make them like they used to. Oh, Grayson, we're old.
Yeah.
I said skibbity toilet before. I can't believe it.
I know. I hate that. Because you said if you were born in like 2007, somebody born in 2007 is 18 years old.
They sure are. They sure are.
I don't like that.
No, me neither.
2007 was like 5 years ago.
Oh, I know. I agree. Epic bacon.
Epic bacon.
Lolcats. Rage memes. I don't know. I was trying to think of things that were big in like 2012.
Oh.
Gangnam Style. No, that was 2013.
Yeah, close enough.
You said 2007 was 5 years ago, so I was trying to think of 2012 stuff.
Oh. Well,
because you said 2007 was 5 years ago, and so 5 years on from 2007 would be 2012.
Oh, I get you. 2012. I got you.
Yeah, this is a terrible riff. Let's not do it again.
Yeah. It's just two old people screaming at clouds.
Yeah, that is mostly what this show is, to be honest.
Yeah. That's okay. We're allowed. We did our time. Good work.
Grayson, you got anything else?
No, I don't think so. It's a really good movie. Go watch it. It's on Tubi for free.
Yes. Yes. You will unfortunately have to sit through about 50 ads telling you to vote for Trump's plan or whatever the fuck.
You know, I didn't get so many of those.
Ad?
What did I get? I got a lot of eczema commercials. Yeah, it was a lot of eczema and a lot of Liberty Mutual.
Oh, okay. I swear every ad break, I got the same ad, and it was like, these people ruined our economy. And it was like a picture of Biden looking sad or whatever. And then it was like,
sure.
But Trump is going to fix it. And he's like, he's already fixed our economy and he's bringing jobs back to America. And he'll come to your house and fondle your balls for you and like whatever. And it's like, tell Congress to vote for whatever. And I was like, I'm not doing any of that. And then
I'm not doing any of that. Yeah.
No. And then it hit me with that like every ad break. And I was very frustrated by the ad. But anyway.
Trump will come and lick your butthole. He'll stick 2 fingers in you.
Just for you. Tell Congress. And his big
Tell
beautiful
Congress
plan.
that you want Trump to finger your butthole.
I'll do it.
I'll do it, man.
I'll do it. The 60s were so much better. Just kidding. They were racist then.
They were racist. It was about the same.
It was about the same. You just didn't have the internet.
Yeah. So news traveled a lot more slowly.
I'll tell you what. One thing a thought I had watching this when they're like, "Oh man, you better strap in. It's a long time till Monday." I was like, "You're just gonna make that guy sit in the room for 2 days?"
Yeah.
Like he doesn't have a TV. He doesn't have nothing. He's just like there with a sandwich and a radio. I'm
Yeah.
like, I would want to get shot too. I would unlatch it and be
Oh,
like,
me
just kill
too.
me. That's fine.
Just please. I
Just
can't do
please.
it. I
Just
can't sit in. Also, that hotel room was so dingy.
I know. It was like not even a closet.
Yeah, it was the shittiest little. Like the bathroom, like light was just like hanging there. I was like, bro, there was tape on the window.
Yeah. Yeah. And insane place to put a witness.
Yeah,
That'd
you
be
could
like
have
if
at
you were
least
in,
put them up in like.
yeah.
Yeah, you could have put them up in like I don't know, a Holiday Inn or some shit.
Yeah, a nice hotel. Yeah.
Well,
I was gonna
yeah,
say
it doesn't
that
have
would
to be a 5 star.
right. I was gonna say that'd be like if you had a witness in Albuquerque and you're like, let's put him at the one of the hotels downtown.
Yeah,
Let's
let's
just
put him in one of those like Motel 6s off
yeah.
of Central.
Yeah, let's stash him at Central in Wyoming.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, perfect. Let's just have him like have a crackhead in his room.
That's the guy we're paying to watch him.
Yeah. I'll watch him for crack.
Uh, you
Anyway.
know, Albuquerque police are so incompetent that I wouldn't even put it past them to do that.
Oh no, not at all. Yeah. Our for those who don't know, our police department is so incompetent. They had to send the National Guard down here to like teach our police force how to do police stuff.
Yeah,
It's crazy. They were so
it's
bad.
bad.
For a couple of years now. We've had the FBI like have to check in with us to make sure that we're doing police work correctly. It's insane. We have
Yeah.
like the worst police force in the entire country.
Yep. Oh, but don't worry. We're going to just throw a whole bunch more money at it. That'll fix
Yeah.
the problem.
It will fix it. Yes. What you know what'll fix all those bad cops if you give them more weaponry, I think.
Yeah. I think that really will do the trick.
If we can just shoot a few more homeless people, I think we'll fix the problem.
Yep. That'll do it.
They had to send the FBI in because they were shooting so many people. Like, it's crazy. APD
What a
was
place
like,
we live.
everybody was like, get on the ground, bang. And like, that was their
Yeah.
whole.
That was, yeah. It's like, brother, you didn't even let him get a chance.
Yeah, that, anyway. Regardless.
Fun times.
Fun times. Grayson, what would you rate this movie out of 10?
Probably like an 8.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah. I'll say like, I'll split the difference. I'll give it a 7.9.
Okay.
7.9. Yeah.
That's basically an 8.
Basically an 8.
Okay. Any specific reason?
No, I don't think so. It just was like it was like it was solid, well done. I think it was a little bit too long.
Okay.
There wasn't any moment that like truly blew me away. Like the car chase, it was really good. And I understand that like it was really good for, it was, it set a lot of standards for movies going forward, but I think because I didn't grow up in that time and I've grown up with movies today,
Yeah.
that car chase was like, yeah, it was good.
That's fair.
But it didn't like blow my socks off or anything.
No, that's fair.
So yeah, I think just, solid 7.9. Real like again, it is a really good movie. I was surprised. I think this would be a good like I don't know if it's like underrated, but just like I feel like people should definitely watch this.
Yeah,
So,
I agree. I agree.
yep.
Yes. Yeah, I'm gonna give it an 8 just basically because I just really like it. It's a good movie. Um, it's very innovative. Obviously, I love Steve McQueen. I think the score is incredible. Um, and I'm entering my old age, and movies like this appeal to me. So I don't know
Yep.
what to tell you. That's what I like.
Yep. I always get excited when we get to do a movie made before like 1990.
Yeah. I love a movie that's just a lot of a guy looking. It's just
Yep.
just a guy looking. He's just
He's
looking
just
at
like,
stuff. Yeah, he's looking at other people. He's looking at other guys, and they're looking back,
yep.
and
Yep.
that's the movie.
And that's it. Yeah.
Anyway, all right, that brings us to everybody's favorite section of the show, Grayson.
Yep.
It's called Editor's Picks. What do you got?
You go first. My brain no
Okay.
worky so good.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Um. Okay. Okay.
You got it.
Okay. Yeah.
You got
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
No. I'm gonna recommend a video game.
Okay.
Everybody on planet Earth has already played this, but I've been playing Black Ops 6.
Oh, okay. I've never
I
played that, so
That's okay. If you don't like Call of Duty games, you wouldn't like it, but yeah, it's fun. It's shooting people in the face. That's all you need to know.
nice.
I've always had a special place in my heart for the Call of Duty games, even though I know that they're terrible. Um,
Yeah.
and I just like them. I like that every so often I stumble across a guy whose clan tag is Trump, and I get to spend the whole map just chasing that guy around and shooting him. I think that's fun.
It's catharsis. Yeah.
It is a little bit of catharsis. Yeah, I've been sending you and our other friend Sam a lot of
Yep.
clips of me doing silly things.
Yes.
So that's been fun.
Yeah, your last one of the fucking grenade, that was very funny.
Yeah.
Here, hold this.
Yeah, for anyone who doesn't know, I ran up to a pillar, I threw a Semtex grenade, got down so the guy couldn't shoot me, and then he exploded. Which was
Yeah.
which was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
The old no look grenade throw.
Yep.
Anyway, yes, Black Ops 6. What do you got?
Robots.
The movie robots?
The movie Robots.
Not just the concept of robots?
No, yeah, no. The movie Robots. It is a very good movie. I haven't seen it
Yes,
in a
it
really
is.
long time, and I've been wanting to watch it again. Man, the jokes in that movie are just
Incredible.
so well done.
Yes.
So yes, if you haven't seen Robots,
Yeah, go see Robots.
yeah,
That movie fucking rules. Ewan McGregor,
yep.
other people.
Fucking who plays? I keep wanting to say
Oh, Robin
Willem
Williams.
Dafoe. Robin Williams, not Willem
Yeah.
Dafoe. Jesus
No,
Christ.
not Willem Dafoe.
I
That'd be a hell of a
don't know
different movie. Just the Green Goblin.
Yeah. No, Robin Williams, fantastic performance.
Yes, the best.
Yeah.
Absolutely the best.
So.
All right. Cool.
Yep.
Well, Grayson.
Yep.
See you later.
See ya.
Bye. No. Do you want to take us out of here?
Yeah. Go find us on all the different social medias that we're on.
Yes.
TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. It's Viva La Action at all those places. We got an email, vivalaaction@gmail.com. Shoot us an email, say hi. You can, if you're listening on Spotify, Podbean, wherever else you listen that is not algorithmically based,
Yes.
You can rate us.
Yes.
Give us 5 stars. If it allows you to leave comments, leave comments. We like reading the comments.
We do.
If you are on an algorithmically based platform like YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, interact with it. Boosts us, which helps.
Yes.
We have a little Google form. You can submit suggestions.
Suggestions. Yep.
I got a whole list going. Santi's got a whole list going of suggestions. Occasionally, we'll just whip one out. Just do that.
Yeah. We got lists on lists, baby.
Hell yeah. And then and then our Ko-fi.
Yes.
If you want to give us money, you can. You don't have to. We don't care.
No. No, you don't. The one thing I was going to say, I think upcoming, and I haven't talked to you about this yet, but I'm telling you now. Upcoming, I think we're going to do another movie commentary.
Ooh.
Because there's some things coming out that I think I want to do some commentaries for the either the older version of them, like the pre-sequel, or just some tangentially related things. So anyway, what I think I'm going to do is next time we do a movie commentary, I'm going to throw it up on the Ko-fi. So you can get access to it if you throw a dollar our way or whatever.
There you go.
I've been toying around with that, but yeah, that's a little bit in the future until next time we record. So
yes, I think that seems fair.
Yeah,
exclusive content.
Yeah, exclusive content, and it again, like you already said it, but Ko-fi, it's not a subscription; it's just a one-time like donation. So if you're scared off by like I don't want to give to these idiots every month, like you don't have you can give it to us once.
Yeah, you can do it today. And then never do it again.
Yeah. And then never do it again. In fact, you don't have to do it at all. It's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I figured we should like put something on there that way you get like a little reward if you donate.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyway, yes.
Yes.
Everything you just said, all of that and more. Yeah. Shoot us an email, send us a message. VivaLaAction@gmail.com.
Interact with us. We're bored.
Yeah, all the time. Just constantly.
Yeah.
Why do you think I've been playing so much Call of Duty? No.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes. If you want to find Grayson, you'll find them face down in a couch, looking for coins, and you'll find me on your roof, parasailing off of your roof. Yep. And I'm gonna hit my head real hard.
Excellent. He's not wearing a helmet.
No, I'm not wearing a helmet. I never have, never will. My head's too big. Anyway, thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
And we'll talk to you next time.
Bye. Bye.